Hello students, today we will be working on 5.3, Solving Inequalities. Our objective is I can solve two-step inequalities. Solving two-step inequalities is the same as solving two-step equations. The only difference is if the multiplicative inverse is negative, you flip the inequality. In other words, if you ever divide or multiply by a negative, you have to switch the direction of the sign. And we'll be doing a few examples of that here. Okay. Number 1, r over 10 plus 4 is less than 5. Again, we're solving for r. We're going to put a line right down the inequality sign. Whatever you do on this side, you have to do on the other side. And again, I would say 90% of the time, you're going to add or subtract first and then divide. Okay. Now it's r divided by 10. If I do the inverse operation, I multiply by 10. R is less than 10. So you could put 0 there, then put 10. Then there's two questions you need to answer. Is it an open or closed dot? Okay, it's going to be an open dot at 10 because this does not include or equal to. So less ink, it means it's a circle, not included. And you shade the direction of the inequality when the variable's on the left side. Okay? And we're done. So again, this and this are your two answers for number 1. Okay, next I'm going to go on to number 2. I'm going to subtract 1, and again, see, subtract or add is almost always your first step. Here's a little trickster part here. The minus sign becomes a negative, so it's negative r is greater than or equal to negative 5 minus 1. Some of you will make this mistake and put negative 4, but it's negative 6 because it's the same as adding a negative, and then it becomes a party. Now, it's negative r from the subtraction sign. So always watch that. When it's plus, you don't need to write anything. But minus, it becomes a negative. So I have to divide by a negative 1. Now, whenever I divide by a negative 1, I have to switch the inequality sign. Okay. All right, so we have 0 here. We have 6 here. Less than or equal to, more ink there means more ink there. And its direction is to the left. And there we have that. Okay. Next, we are going to go ahead and go on to 3. Now, we're kind of not going to get rid of anything at the very beginning. We're just going to combine like terms. If you look on your desk with how to solve equations, I think the first one's distributive property, and then combine like terms. Here, see how they both have an r? So I go negative 12 plus 2. Is that going to be a battle or a party? I can't hear you. It's a battle, so we subtract. 12 minus 2 is 10. Who wins the battle? The negatives, because they got more guys. Okay. Now, some of you are going to try and add 10. That's going to be a mistake because this is negative 10 times r. So we're going to go ahead and divide by negative 10. And again, I divided by a negative, so I must switch the sign. See that? Divide by a negative, switch the sign. 100 divided by negative 10. So r is greater than negative 10. Open or close dot, and which way do you shade? Two questions you have to answer. Greater than, which means it's not included in the answer key, so it's an open dot shaded to the right. Okay. All right. Now I'll do a couple of other problems, a little bit more challenging. Okay, now we're going to be using more steps that you will have on your desk in the yellow little thing that's taped there. Okay, the first thing we want to do is the distributive property. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, plus negative 2 times m is negative 2m, greater than or equal to 16. And again, if you want to draw a line down there, that's fine. Now, one has an m and one does not, so we do not combine them. I have to add 8 here, add 8 there. Negative 2m greater than or equal to 24. Divide by negative 2. Oh, we're dividing by negative again. What does that mean? Switch the signs. So, m is less than or equal to negative 12. Okay, and we're done. We'll have you do 5 if you want to pause the video. Otherwise, we'll go on to number 6. Here we go on number 6. We're going to use the distributive property. Okay, then I combine like terms. Okay, now we're on 2 steps, which means you want to add or subtract first. We're going to subtract 8 and get all the numbers on the opposite side from the variable. Divide by 3. D is greater than 4. Greater than means open dot. It's pointing to the right. And again, you always go by the direction if the variable's on the left side. Okay? All right. Go ahead and cross out 7, 8, and 9, but do all the rest on pages 114 and 115. You can do this, students. You rock.